Is that better? Hi everybody, Mickey here, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. So, been asked to do one on sharpening. Okay, sharpening. So, let's get two things out of the way first. First of all, sharpening. Sharpening for what? Okay, what are you using? And also, what are you attempting to cut with the tool that you're sharpening? Okay, do you need a fine edge? Okay, which is brilliant for things like razor blades, or do you need a more durable edge for something like an axe? Are you cutting fibrous materials, okay, which are prone to drag? So if you think about cutting things like grasses, if you've got a super fine edge, they tend to fold it over. If you've got an edge that's a bit coarse, it's got a little bit of bite to it, it tends to grip it and cut through it. Okay, so again, you've got to apply that. Now, there are hundreds of videos out there showing you sharpening, okay, and I'm not going to get into an argument with them all. However, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through a quick talk about some of my methods, thoughts and systems for sharpening. Now, I know there are going to be people that are going to feed back to me, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. Nope, these are the methods I found that work for me. Okay, my father taught me to sharpen stuff. Then a guy called Herbie taught me how to sharpen stuff. Then I was shown how to sharpen stuff with the military. Then I've been shown how to sharpen stuff in forestry. Okay, and everybody showed me a different technique and a method. Okay, well, what I do know, quite simply from my blacksmithing and from using edges and knives, there are only really two things that you've got to remember. One is the profile of your edge. You have to find the profile of the edge and you have to maintain that. Okay, so when you take something like a Scandi grind or a knife with a Scandi grind, that's quite easy to work, because where the Scandi grind is there, the bevel on the Scandi grind, and you start flat there, you rotate it to the Scandi grind and you sharpen it. Okay, so again, you start flat, come to the angle, you can't do anything but find it, and you sharpen it along the Scandi grind. Okay, and that will give you your profile, that gives you the line to follow, okay, and to work along. So if you've got something that's got a double bevel on it, like something like this go lock here, where you can see there's the initial bevel and then it's got the other bevel on it, you find that secondary bevel and you work along that. Okay, and that will give you your edge. Okay, it's just a matter of working at it. If you've got something like an axe, okay, you don't have that bevel, because what you tend to have is a convex grind, i.e. it's shaped like that. Okay, so what you have to do on that is you have to work the edge. You have to physically look at it and work the edge. Now, there are many ways of doing that. A lot of guys will use a puck, or they'll use a stone like this, and they will do it in a circular motion. And what they're looking for as they go along, they're looking for the shine that comes up there. They don't want it to be shiny back here, they want that shine to be on the edge. And as you pick it up, you can see where you're sharpening. Now, what I usually do myself is turn that over, go to the finer side of the stone, and just give it a couple of passes when I'm done. Okay, that's how you sharpen an axe, and you can do both sides. Okay, or you definitely do both sides. If you've got something like a bill hook, you can use the same method on that, or you can go back to using a whetstone, which is a curved whetstone, which looks like that, which is a farmer's tool really, for scythes and that sort of equipment, and you work down the blade. Okay, and that will sharpen that for you. Now that has quite a coarse edge to it, and the reason it has a coarse edge to it is a working tool. It doesn't have a fine edge. It's not there for cutting leather or cutting materials. This tool is a chopping tool. It's designed to work through the fibres of the wood. Okay, now there's a bit of a trick to these. It's a trial and effort thing. Get it right for yourself. You can work it to a super fine edge. Okay, but you put a fine edge at this end for carving and working things. You put a slightly more coarse edge down there to give it the durability for working through hazel. Again, when you come into knives, you find your profile, and it can be a bit difficult. So if you take a knife like that, which I made with a convex grind, and it's also got a curved blade, so that makes that a little bit more tricky to sharpen with a stone, because you've got to try and follow the curve through. What you can do with that is you'll get yourself one of these. This is a diamond stone, but it's a rat tail. Okay, now that will allow that to work down that very, very nicely. Okay, and that allows me to follow that curve all the way through. The other use for that type of file is if you have a Leatherman, or you have a blade with a rope saw on it, which is what these rated blades are. They're rope saws. Okay, you can take that, you match it, and that allows you to reprofile them. I've met so many people with rope saws which should be immensely sharp, and they're blunt because they don't know how to sharpen them, and that's what that's for. Okay, now that will also do, just finishing a couple of stripes on the back for that. You can also sharpen a straight edge with that. You can take something like my little Puko there, which is a Scandi grind, and that, running it down at even pressure, will sharpen that. Now knives, unlike axes, you want to finish on a strop. You can finish an axe on a strop. If you put a fine edge on an axe, you can do it on a strop, but I've never really bothered myself. But you take a leather strop, and a couple of passes will take the burr off. You can, if you've got a leather sheath, do exactly the same thing with the leather sheath to take the burr off your knife as well. Okay, you don't sharpen a knife on leather, you take the burr off. Okay, and a burr isn't just caused by sharpening, it can be caused by use. It's a deformation of the edge of the blade. Okay, now, so you can buy yourself all sorts of different sharpening devices. You can go for something like this, which is a Norton stone, hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Okay, that one is a 175th anniversary edition, which I bought in 1998. Okay, and I'm still using today. Okay, that has sharpened many hundreds of knives. It's an oil stone. It's done some beautiful work, made some beautiful edges. Is it better than that? Yeah, of course it is. For doing fine work, if I'm going to sit here for hours and hours and hours, but invariably you're going to be up the woods, or you're going to be out in the field, and you're going to need to sharpen something. Okay, so my recommendation is a little double-sided waterstone. Okay, don't get oil stones. Well, you can get an oil stone and use it for water. Okay, the reason is it's carrying an oil stone. It gets manky, it gets quite clogged up. If you use a water stone, you can use saliva, spit. If push comes to shove, get a puddle, because basically what the water does, the water creates a grinding compound on the top. As you're drawing that blade across there, it's breaking this material up, it's taking metal filings off that, it creates a grinding paste and it helps you to get a finer edge. You can go with a diamond stone. Okay, this is a little fisherman's diamond stone. It's got a little slot through it that's for sharpening fish hooks. Okay, that will put a very nice finish to an edge on a knife. Okay, very nice finish. Takes a little bit more effort because it's very, very fine. Okay, but again, for having something that's simple, easy to carry with you, that can put an edge on something, it will do the trick. Okay, you haven't always got the ability to carry a whetstone and that with you, but something like that, you can wear it around your neck, put it on a keychain. It will sharpen stuff up. Okay, it doesn't have a lot of abrasive when you run your hand against it because it's a diamond stone. Those are basically diamond fragments, engineering grade diamond. There's not a lot of value to it, but it will sharpen quite nicely. Do the job for you. You can. Oh me. You can go onto Amazon and buy something like this. Okay. A lot of people knock them. Okay. I've got one in my kitchen. Right, it's a 400 grit diamond stone and 600 grit. 600 grit slightly finer, so I can use that. To sharpen as well. Okay. Now it's a bit plasticky, but it will sharpen. It will do the job. You can go to the expense of buying a collection of stones or set of stones. Those are Ruxin stones, water stones. Okay, they're great for sharpening your knives as well. Now, most important thing on any of your edges, and I'm just going to finish this off quick here. So the most important thing on any of your edges is find the profile. Take your time. Don't use huge amounts of pressure. Don't need to. Let the item you're using, whether it's a stone, whether it's a diamond, let that do the work. Okay. If you're trying to put massive amounts of pressure on it, okay, all you're going to do is muck up your edge. Have a look at your edge, and like I say, there you can see that there's a double bevel on this. It's got a very fine edge on that one. That military one there, that's got a convex grind, so it's a lot thicker. Right, the blade stays thicker towards the edge, makes for a stronger blade, makes for a stronger edge, and an edge that's easier to maintain and look after. Okay, concave makes for a super fine edge. Okay, that I could prepare game with that easier than I could with this. However, if I'm hacking my way through the jungle and the undergrowth, that's the one I want, because that's the one that will last. Simple as that. That's it. Edges, really. Other than that, like I say, it's practice and find the technique that works for you. That's the other secret. Is don't have a look at other people's techniques. Find what works for you. Time, practice. That's all it is. Okay. Anybody can sharpen anything. You'll be quite surprised when you first start doing it, if you just launch into it, right, how much of a mess you can really make. However, the great thing about sharpening is if you're finding it's not working, stop. Stop, sit down, take a big deep breath, make a cup of tea, go outside, have a cigarette, may even swear a little bit. Okay? It's probably going to be your angle of attack. Okay? So you're either coming over too far, okay, or not far enough. And the easiest way to tell that is get yourself a Sharpie marker, run a Sharpie marker along that edge, okay, and come back about, I don't know, as far as you want. I normally come back about 3 or 4 mils. Come back about 3 or 4 millimeters. Then when you sharpen it, just do a couple of passes and have a look where you've taken that Sharpie marker off. Okay, and that will tell you your angle. When knife makers are first profiling their knives, when they first get into it, it's one of the tips they're given. Okay, mark your edge, mark where you want your profile and your edge to be, and then work to that. And whether you're using an engineer's blue, whether you're using just marker pens, it gives you a guide. It gives you a visual guide. You can see that if it's going shiny back here, I'm nowhere near the edge. If it's just going shiny on the edge, and it's literally just on the edge, then I'm probably sharpening too far over. However, if it goes from the edge back 2 or 3 mils, I've probably got a good angle there. Okay, and then that's the best tip I can give you there. So if you're new to sharpening, you're just starting out, get yourself a Sharpie marker. Okay, get yourself a good quality stone. Okay, don't I mean, I think that one was about 10 quid. Okay, it's a double-sided, so you got a coarse side and a slightly finer side. Personally, me, whetstones, prefer a whetstone purely and simply because I can use it anywhere. Spit on it and work it. Okay, you need to create that paste for it to be working efficiently. Okay. Dip it into water. Okay, just get a coating of water on it, whether it's from a puddle or not, and then I can work it. Okay, spit on it, and like I say, if push comes to worse, I can even wee on it if I had to. Not that I'd want to. So there you go, sharpening. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully you enjoy that. Hopefully that makes it an interesting video. I'm getting better. I'm out tomorrow with Matt. Guys, if you don't see any, or if I don't get a chance to catch you later on, have a great Christmas, have a great holiday, whoever you are, wherever you are in this world. Love to all your families, to your kids and all the rest of it. Have a great time. Get outside if you can. Have your adventures. Be awesome. Yeah. More importantly, love those you do. Forgive those you don't. And peace and light be upon you all. This is Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival, wishing you all well, sending you all love, and Merry Christmases. Mickey out.